it's about this challenge of claiming your whole self in your personal life and your work life. So there's a thread of presence that goes between them. So whether you're an engineer or you're an artist or you're a therapist, it's all the same thing. And we're told that our vulnerabilities and our insecurities and our triggers and our wounds are what make us unique and beautiful and human. But it's more often than not, said as a platitude. And this tendency to say and hear this as a platitude is a liability for us as women and for us as a society, like Mandy was talking about. So if we're going to talk about power, confidence, and voice today, then we absolutely have to talk about weakness and insecurity and vulnerability. And not just cross-cultural context, but in the inner world, in terms of your personal experience of your own responsibility to your wholeness. And I know that none of you would be here today if you didn't already get this. And having read through what you sent us earlier this week, I absolutely honor how much work you've already done in this realm. Absolutely blew me away. Thank you for showing up that way before you showed up here today. But I also know from my own experience, and I know from working with the mentoring clients that I work with, that it seems that we kind of get this on an intellectual level. Like if we really got it, that our insecurities and our vulnerabilities are what made us unique and human, we would act differently. And we wouldn't try to stuff, apologize for, or my personal favorite of recent days is to bolster with righteousness my own inner experience to make it somehow more valid. So we're then finding ourselves going back and forth between this feeling of being really tight and being really expansive, and feeling trapped and feeling empowered, and feeling like we want desperately to hide, and feeling ecstatic that we've actually finally been seen. So the question is, what the hell do we do with that? And even though I know it's not about yoga, I want to answer that from my perspective, from a yoga perspective. And I want to bring in the story of the Bhagavad Gita. And some of you may be familiar with it. It's an ancient seminal text of yoga. And it's the story of Arjuna, who's a prince and a warrior, and Krishna, who's a god. And they're in conversation, and they're on a battlefield, because Arjuna has been just told at the beginning of the story that he has to fight in battle against his friends, his mentors and teachers, his family members, and his respected elders. And he's just absolutely paralyzed. And the thing that makes this yoga text different than any of the other yoga texts is that it's completely about relationship, and it's set in daily life. There is no place in this story where it says that it's in any way cool to go sit in meditation in a cave if the shit hits the fan. It really says, this is your life, this is your dharma. Every action you take will have a consequence. Show up and act anyway.